Hello and a big welcome to the channel. I'm the Motorsport Madman and this is the Sprint Shootout ahead of the 2023 United States Grand Prix. If you are new to the channel, if you are a Formula 1 fan, then do get yourself subscribed. I'm trying to get to 500 subs before the end of the season. We've got 5 races to go and we are about set 12 minutes to go until the sprint qualifying session starts. We've got Charles Leclerc on pole for the Grand Prix proper tomorrow. With Lando Norris lined up on the front row, but we get a part 2. There's 2 qualifying sessions on the sprint race weekend, and it is the sprint race tonight. I'll be live about 10:30, I think, something like that, around 10:30. The sprint race starts 11 p.m. tonight, UK time. So that is a late night stream. But first, we've got to set the grid for the sprint. So this is what this stream's all about. Let's set the grid. Part 2 of qualifying, basically. We've had the real Grand Prix qualifying. Now we get the sprint qualifying. And is it going to be the same again? Are we going to see... I don't think we're going to see a Leclerc, Norris, Hamilton top 3 again. 2 days in a row. I think the track limits that Max Verstappen... the track limit penalty that he got and a lap time deleted, he'd probably learn from that. But you never know. Let's have a look. Let's have a see what happens. But it's been incredibly competitive between, you know, the likes of Ferrari, McLaren and Mercedes. They're really close, and with Perez as well. I mean, Verstappen's out on his own. If he hooks up a perfect lap, I can't see many stopping him. But right behind him, from 2nd to 10th, you know, there's virtually nothing in it. So I hope we're in for a competitive session. Let's see what Ted Kravitz is saying. The GOAT of all pundits, Ted Kravitz, in the pit lane with Danica Patrick. So a sprint qualifying session is split into 3 segments, just like a normal qualifying session is, but each segment is a little bit shorter. So I think it's 15 minutes for Q1, 12 minutes for Q2, and 8 minutes for Q3, or whatever, however they call it, SQ1, SQ2, SQ3, whatever. But yeah, so it's basically like a 45-minute qualifying session instead of an hour. So each session is trimmed down by a few minutes. Yeah, they're talking about Mercedes with the new upgrade, new floor. What is Lewis wearing? He comes in some wacky outfits, does Lewis? But yeah, Mercedes come with a brand new floor this weekend, so they're looking pretty quick. They're looking more competitive than they have done the last few races anyway, and I really hope Lewis can fight for the win this weekend. If not in the sprint tonight, then in the Grand Prix tomorrow. I feel like it's a really good chance for Lewis to win a race this weekend because you've got Verstappen's going to start from 6th. And ahead of him, Leclerc and Norris. Lewis has got a fancier chance at a victory this weekend. It's probably his best chance. Well, apart from when I think he was on pole, wasn't he, in Hungary? Perhaps he should have won that, but there's Lance Stroll in the garage. I've got to support Aston Martin tonight because they've had an absolute shocker. They need the support. 19th and 17th on the grid they are for the Grand Prix tomorrow. They've got a second bite of the cherry here to not embarrass themselves of Aston Martin. In this qualifying session, they've got to get out of Q1. They've got to get out of Q1, man. I think Fernando Alonso got through to Q3 every single event leading up to this one as well. So imagine starting in the top 10 for every single Grand Prix and then getting to round 19 and you start in 17th. Oh, mate. Aston Martin have dropped off so hard. Final prep to Charles Leclerc's Ferrari. We're about 6 minutes away from the start of this sprint qualifying session. I don't know why they don't just call it sprint qualifying rather than calling it shootout. Just call it sprint qualifying and just call the sprint a sprint race. I do like that American style livery that Red Bull have got. The Williams one's good as well. The Red Bull and Williams liveries are better than Haas's attempt, and Haas are the American team. But I hope that Haas are not the only American team in a couple of years. I saw the interview with Andretti, and they sound confident. They sound confident that they're going to get accepted. I pray that Andretti are accepted onto the grid as an 11th team. He said he's aiming to be on the grid with Andretti as an actual team for 2025, but I think if they're being honest to themselves, I think it would be more like looking at 2026. I'd be surprised, even if they're approved now, I'd be surprised if they're ready for 2025. I say more likely we'll see Andretti on the grid 26, but I just hope we see him on the grid. Yes, Wade, welcome to the stream, bro. Hope you're doing good. What up, mate? Ready for a bit of sprint qualifying. Sprint race weekend, innit? So we get 2 qualifying sessions and 2 races. So we had qualifying for the Grand Prix last night and qualifying for the sprint now. Sprint race tonight, 11 p.m. UK time. Obviously where you are, It'd be more like middle of the afternoon. But for me, it's going to be 11 p.m. the sprint race tonight. And I hope it's a good one. We're about to set the grid for it. F1 and Arsenal, get in. Yeah, we're clashing with Arsenal, Chelsea in it, so nothing I can do about that. But it is what it is. I hope it's close, man. Let's go. Danny Rick's back, baby. Where did Danny Rick qualify? About 15th for the race. Come on, Danny. Let's get through to Q3 today. Valtteri Bottas, Fernando Alonso. Maybe Lando can get pole here. And Piastri's got to step it up as well. Piastri, I think, 10th on the grid for the race. I want to see Piastri starting the sprint in the top 5. Come on, let's go. I want McLaren pole here. I want McLaren pole in the sprint or Hamilton pole. I'd even take a Perez pole. Let's go. Sprint day. Oh my God. It's sprint day here. That is a term I would never thought I would hear. If you'd have said that to me 5 years ago, in 5 years you're going to be coming on air and you're going to be going, it's sprint day. I'd have gone, you are joking. But this sport has been Americanized officially. We have got a sprint day. You'll love to see it. No, I am actually excited for this. I mean, it's better than a practice session, isn't it? On a normal Grand Prix weekend, it's 3 practice sessions, a qualifying session and a race. On a sprint race weekend, it's 1 practice session, 2 qualifying sessions and 2 races. So on the face of it, on paper, this is much more exciting than a standard Grand Prix weekend, but it's just a bit of a gimmick, though. That's the problem. It's just a bit of a gimmick. I would rather they went full gimmick and did reverse championship order grid for the sprint race. But then you wouldn't have this qualifying session, though. And then so the fans have got 1 less session, and it's all about the fans that are there and getting their money's worth and getting their action per minute. Yes, Barry, welcome in, bro. Welcome to the stream. Hope you're ready for a bit of sprint race qualifying. Do tune in for the sprint race tonight. I'll be live about 10:30. Starts at 11 p.m. UK time, the sprint race, of which we are about to set the grid. I think it's 3 segments, just like a normal qualifying session, but each session is a little bit shorter. So yeah, it's instead of it being 18, 15, and 12-minute sessions, it's 15, 12, and 8-minute sessions. So it's a 44-minute qualifying session to set the grid. And yeah, you can't be messing about. You can't be messing about in Q3 when you've only got 8 minutes. It's literally... I mean, is there even enough time to do out lap, hot lap, in lap? You know, there's not even time. There's not even time to do 6 laps. It's virtually a one-shot. It's virtually one-shot qualifying in Q3. 8 minutes. There's not enough time. Unless you do out lap and then 2 hot laps. You know what I mean? Unless you do back-to-back. But really, it's one-shot quali in Q3. 8 minutes. You haven't got time. Which is good, you know. It's... puts them under pressure. No second chances. and we're underway for Shootout 1. They make it even more complicated with these terms, man. Shootout 1, just call it Q1. But yeah, here we go then. So it is a 12-minute session for Shootout 1 as they pile out of the pits. Let's go. Did you get copyright for the F1 logo for your races back? No, I don't know what I got copyright for. I got copyright for something, yeah. I think my best guess, because they've not told me, I've emailed them a few times about why my stream got deleted and I got took off air and banned for a week. And so I sent emails to the company that banned me and cut transmissions and everything. I sent them many emails. What have I done wrong? So, and not just to be pissed off and say what have I done wrong, but to inquire so that I don't do it again. Like whatever I've done, I'll avoid doing that because channel will be deleted next time. You know what I mean? If it happens again, that's it. Game over. So I can't afford to. So, but they've not told me nothing. They gave me no reason. So I've had to just guess. And my guess is that it was one of the clips I had in the intro of the circuit. I had a clip in the intro of the track, and I can only think that a robot, some sort of bot, has picked it up and thinking that I'm showing the race live, when really it was just a 3-second helicopter shot of, you know, archive footage from 15 years ago, a 3-second helicopter shot of the circuit, and a bot has probably picked that up and gone, he's showing the race live, bang, cut transmission, bang, dead, over. I just hope it doesn't happen again. Do you know what's a big slap in the face with that though? Do you know what the big slap in the face with that was? I actually had a lot of people watching. The day that I get banned and cut transmissions was the day I had a lot of people watching. I think I had about 70, 80 people watching live just before the start of the Italian Grand Prix, because Jamza had given me a raid. I already had a lot of people interested in that race anyway, and then I got a raid off Jamza. I had about 85, 87 people in. Bang. Banned. I was like, you are joking. Of all the streams I do with 2 people watching, of all the dead streams I've done over the past 2 years, and the one that pops off is the one. But that is why they banned me, because the bots found me. Because other people found me, then the bot found me. Do you know what I mean? Growing pains, innit? It just went blank, mate. Exactly. It just went blank. It's like someone pulled the power cord. It is like someone just pulled the power cord on. But I didn't know for a few. I just thought, oh, the chat's gone dead. You know, people aren't commenting, whatever. I just thought, oh, the chat's gone dead. So I carried on for the first 2 or 3 laps. I was like, oh, what a great start. The Ferraris go side by side and all that. I was giving it full beans. And about 2-3 minutes later, I was like, no one's here. And it just kind of dawned on me like, bro, literally no one's here. Like, what's going on here? And then realised. But all the reason was, it was like copyright strike. And then it gave reason or whatever, what caused it. And it just said F1 Italian GP. F1 Italian GP. It's so vague. Like, I need to know exactly what it was. But anyway, it's not happened again since. Touch wood. I've not had any issues since, and I've done about 15 streams since then, something like that. So, I don't know. Just got to keep kicking, aren't you? But if it happens again, if it ever goes blank again, that's it. Channel gone. we had a good run. We got a couple of subs, and yeah, GG's. Which could happen at any point, you know what I mean? Because I don't know. I don't know the rules, innit? Obviously, I know you can't show it, but I don't know, man. I'll probably get banned eventually. like if this channel gets big enough to get noticed, somewhere along the line, someone's going to go, he shouldn't be showing live timings. He shouldn't be showing GPS. He shouldn't be doing this. He shouldn't have the title in the. He shouldn't have the logo in the thumbnail. He shouldn't have. There's probably about 15 rules that I don't know I'm breaking. Do you get what I mean? But because I only have 2 or 3 viewers, it's never been flagged up. But if it gets big enough to get noticed, probably be game over. Anyway, we keep kicking until that day arrives, and we are well into the first part of qualifying. So let's have a look what's happening on track. I hope it is F1 logo. Yeah, but I've had F1 logo in every single thumbnail for the past 18 months. So it's not that. And other people that do F1 watch-alongs that put the F1 logo in the thumbnail as well, and they get 100,000 views and they're using it, so... It's not that. It was something from the intro, I think. It was a clip I used in the intro, I think. That's my best guess. Verstappen's gone purple first 2 sectors. But yeah, Carl, I hope it is a Hamilton pole. I want Hamilton or one of the McLarens to snag it. But Verstappen's on a quick one. Four and a half minutes to go in Q1, and Verstappen goes quickest by 0.3 of a second. So we've got a top 5 at the moment of Verstappen, Leclerc, Sainz, Russell, Ocon, and here comes Sergio Perez to the line, and only P5, so nowhere near his teammate, as has been the theme for the last 2 years. So with 4 minutes to go, Rory McIlroy in the Alpine garage, one of the investors. Wow. Tell you what, Alpine have attracted all the celebrities this season. I don't know how, why, what, where. But fair play, man. Whoever's doing the marketing side for Alpine has absolutely smashed it. Someone's had a major sales pitch going on. Alpine have got some major sales pitch going on behind the scenes. I tell you now, the amount of investors that have come in. I mean, surely you have to start thinking that Alpine have got to. Alpine are going to have some serious cash behind them. Surely Alpine, a couple of years, have got to be jumping up the grid, haven't they? That is a conversation that needs to start being had. You know, Alpine are like midfield also rans at the moment, but with all this investment and interest, I tell you what, they could be coming on leaps and bounds. But 3 minutes to go in Q1, and here comes Piastri to the line. Only P11 for Oscar Piastri. The bottom 5 then, with time running out, is Bottas, Magnussen, Ricciardo, Stroll and Sargent. As Norris goes P8 in the McLaren, he should be safe with that. Yeah, Alpine making bank. It's a weird, like, I don't know. There's some major sales pitch going on. It's almost a bit suspicious where it's like, are Alpine, is this the first stage of Alpine trying to pull out of F1? You know, that's a conversation that needs to be had. Like, it's almost suspiciously like they're taking on so many celebrity endorsements and investments that it's almost like, are they wanting to step back into the shadows and let the team be sold piece by piece? Like, are Renault not fancying this anymore? You know what I mean? Like, are Alpine trying to step back? Or is it the opposite of that? Are Alpine going, we're gunning for the championship in 3 years. These are the plans. Everyone get on board. Now we're going full steam ahead and bigger and better. I don't know which one it is. We'll find out in the next 3 years. But yeah, a minute and a half to go. Bottom 5, Bottas, Magnussen, Ricciardo, Stroll, Sargent. So they're all winding up for one more lap. Yeah, exactly. Wrexham, it's the same deal. Same guy. I can't remember his name, innit? The Hollywood actor guy. It's the same dude. He's involved in it as well. They're all involved in it. Rory McIlroy. I think Trent Alexander-Arnold's in it as invested in this team. And so Patrick Mahomes, I don't watch NFL, but I think he's, you know, a big name in the NFL, and he, you know, he's a quarterback. So, yeah, major investment. Here comes Alexander Albon then. He is currently P12. So he is safe at the moment. If Zhou Guanyu goes P9 in the Alfa Romeo, he should be safe with that, with 35 seconds to go. Now, I think Albon should be safe, and I do like the special edition US flag livery on that Williams as well. I think the Red Bull takes the win on the livery front this weekend, but the Williams is decent. So Albon with DRS open down the back straight. He comes then with being chased down by Lance Stroll and Fernando Alonso, who need to improve. Alonso P15 at the moment and on the bubble, and Lance Stroll down in 19th. Albon's a 10th slower in the middle sector than what he needs. Tsunoda crosses the line then. It's 13th at best. Tsunoda might be in trouble with that. We're about to find out. Here comes Lance Stroll up into P10. He'll be through with that. Oh, decent lap from Lance Stroll. He saved himself. And here comes Fernando Alonso then with oversteer out of the final corner and sticks it 6th. Well, majorly improved, and Alexander Albon goes 3rd. This stinks of track evolution. This major track evolution going on. Albon's gone 3rd, and both Aston Martins are easily into the next session. But Magnussen and Tsunoda are both definitely out. Where's Bottas, Ricciardo and Sargent? Here comes Oscar Piastri round the final corner. Then he's on the bubble in P15. Piastri needs a lap. Only P14. What is going on there? Piastri's had I tell you what, McLaren are really struggling in these conditions. What is going on? Piastri's going to escape by the skin of his teeth. Bottas is out. So Magnussen, Bottas, Tsunoda are all out. Sargent's out in P19. Here comes Daniel Ricciardo. Needs a lap. He's 20th at the moment. Crosses the line. P15. Knocks out Nico Hülkenberg. Ricciardo is through to the second part of qualifying. Knocked out in Q1. Then it's Hülkenberg, Magnussen, Bottas, Tsunoda and Sargent. Piastri only 14th in a McLaren that won the sprint race 2 weeks ago. Albon up there in P3, he must have done the lap of his life. Tsunoda fuming on team radio, as is the norm, but some really bizarre times going in there. Alexander Albon going P3, 2/10 off the pace, is an unbelievable effort. Meanwhile, Piastri scrapes through in P14. Wow. Investment in teams still doesn't make you win. Well, unfortunately, this game it does. Well, in any game, you know, money is success. You'll find that the richest teams are fighting for the victories and the poorest teams are fighting for P19. So, you know, with more money comes more personnel. It comes more car development, more research facilities and all the rest of it. More infrastructure. And then more pace on the track. So then better results and moving up the grid. Money does, it is about money at the end of the day, unfortunately. Although there are exceptions to that, because Racing Point did a very good job on a modest budget, you know, for a few years. You know, I think you know, it's not always the case, because Racing Point were on paper pretty much the smallest team a few years ago, and they were getting the odd podium, and they were outperforming the budget they've got. So it's not always the case, but listen, Red Bull, Ferrari, and Mercedes are the richest teams out there, and they're the ones fighting for the wins in it. So yes, Sean, mate, how we doing, bro? How is it? Epic, unbelievable, life-changing. You've missed the stream of a lifetime. Nah, it's been alright. It's been alright. Q1's over, so we're in between sessions right now. What's happening with Chelsea? What's the Arsenal Chelsea score? I know you was 1-0 up before I come live. I seen you was 1-0. Is it 2-0? Oh no. Watching Denver cry in Jordan's studio with City shirts behind him. Oh no, man. Oh, he'd be wounded. Red Bull is strange because they don't have a road car. Yeah, Williams don't have a road car. Haas don't have road cars. Yeah, it's a weird combination in F1 of like pure racing teams like Red Bull, Williams, Haas. Who else? See, Alpine only produce one car a decade, don't they? Who else? See, Alpha Tauri is not a car brand. So there's like this weird combination where you've got purely racing teams, and then you've got the big car manufacturers as well. Ferrari and Mercedes, Alfa Romeo. But we want more. I'd love to see more big car manufacturers in, because like a decade ago we had BMW, Toyota. I would love to see. I'd love to see Volkswagen Group come in. Volkswagen Group own Audi and Lamborghini and Bentley and Bugatti and all that. I'd love to see them come in, like Audi F1 team or you know what I mean? Can you imagine the Lamborghini F1 team or something? I'd love to see more like manufacturer teams. Send me a good. Verstappen win next season too, mate. If I knew that, I'd be getting the lottery numbers tonight. But he'd probably be Bucky's favourite, yeah. Probably if you put £1 on it, William Hill, you'd probably get £1.5p back. He'd be Bucky's favourite, but I hope it's... The thing is about next year, I don't mind if Verstappen wins it, but we need it to be closer. It's got to be closer next season. If Verstappen goes and wins, I said this yesterday, if Verstappen goes and wins the first 5 races next season, oh, that'll just kill me off. It'll kill this channel off. I swear down, if Verstappen wins the first 5 or 6 races next season, I'll just be like, what am I doing? It has to be better next season. It has to be closer. For my sanity, it has to be a lot more competitive next season. 2021 was a 10 out of 10 season. 2022 was like a 4, 5 out of 10 season. And 2023 has been a 2.5 out of 10. A 2. So I need, for my sanity, I need a 7, 8 out of 10 season next season. We're not going to get a 10 out of 10. No, there is no season where the top 2 in the championship go into the final race, level on points, and whoever wins the last race wins the championship. That doesn't happen. That's a one-off. But I need a good season next season. It can't be Verstappen. In fact, exactly, innit, Sean? That's what it boils down to. There's no point in watching if you know who's going to win. That's exactly what it boils down to. So it's just going to lose. Like, the whole sport is going to lose viewers. The viewing numbers must have absolutely plummeted this season. I reckon we're probably rocking on now. Worldwide viewership, I reckon, is probably 10% of what it was like a year and a half ago. I reckon All the casual fans are not watching now. No chance. So it has to be better next season, or else it's not good, man. They can put out all the Netflix series they want and all the movies. Oh, there's going to be this movie, Brad Pitt movie. There's going to be Adam Driver doing a Ferrari movie. You can have all the Netflix series and movies you want, but at the end of the day, if you can predict a year out that Verstappen's going to probably win it next year, it ain't the one. Go, 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 go. Yes, Dorian, mate. How we doing? It does, Barry. That's what it boils down to. BMW V10s are revved to 19,000. Well, they all revved to 19,000, didn't they, back in the day, before it went V6 hybrid in 2014. So I saw a post on Twitter the other day, actually, that someone said F1 died at the end of 2013. And I was like, at first I was like, no. And then I was like, yeah, it did. That's when they changed from V8 screaming engines to V6 hybrid at the end of 2013. It kind of killed. It did kill some of the aspects of this sport. It did kill it a little bit. You in Poland? Welcome to the stream, bro. Time to ban him. Ban who? Ban Verstappen, yeah. I tell you what, that is one thing for sure, yeah. If Verstappen didn't exist in this championship, what a hell of a season it would be. It's a different driver second every week. So it'd be a hell of a championship. The championship would be between Hamilton, Alonso. You'd have a late surge from McLaren. You know what I mean? Norris would have an outside chance of winning it. Leclerc could be in the championship fight. Mate, it'd be an unbelievable season. You'd have Alonso try to cling on to the championship lead with a shit car. Hamilton, oh mate, it'd be epic. Perez has struggled to win it, which is mad. Perez would struggle to win this championship if he was on his own. Because the thing is, it's not a Red Bull domination. It's not like Perez finishes second every week. Nah, it ain't a Red Bull domination. It's a Verstappen domination. I've never seen anything like it. Except for maybe like 2002. You have to go back 20 years before someone's dominated as much as Verstappen's dominated this season. Anyway, we're into Q2 now. And we're starting to get the lap times in. This is all about getting through to the final part of the sprint qualifying into the top 10. It'll be so much better, bro. It's unbelievable. But we're dreaming, aren't we? We can't do anything about it. Everyone's just got to up the game. Can't just delete Verstappen. Everyone's just got to get better. Norris goes P4, then a 1:35.5. 4/10 off the pace. 5 minutes to go in Shootout 2. I don't know why they come up with all these terms. They should just call it Q2. Does it get new developments first? No. There is a rare occasion where, let's say they rush, let's say they've got a new update for the car. Let's say they've got a new front wing, but it's rushed. Let's say it's back-to-back race weekends, and they're trying to fly out. They've just developed a new front wing, and they've only got one of them, which is a rare occasion. It might happen once a season. You know, at most teams it won't happen at all. That they'll make two of everything or not bother. But every now and again, on a rare exception, there'll be one of something, and in that scenario, they'll give it to the number one driver until they've had time to build a second one, and then they'll give it to the other. So in a rare exception, but 99% of the time, the cars are exactly the same. So it's not that Perez has got some B-spec car. Perez is in exactly the same machinery as Max Verstappen, which makes it even more baffling. Because Perez isn't second every week. Perez doesn't even qualify in the top 10 half the time. So it's like a bit of a misconception. It's like, oh, Red Bull have built the most dominant car ever. But wait a minute, is it? Or is it that... Do you know what I mean? Is the Red Bull just in the pack and Verstappen's just on a different level? Because Perez is in the pack. 1 week Perez will be second, then next race will be fifth, then he'll be eighth, then he'll be third, then he'll be fourth. Wait a minute. Shouldn't Perez be second every single week? Perez has been in this sport for 12 years. He ain't no slouch. Perez is a good driver, so what's the scenario here? Is Verstappen just in a different league? I'm voting that he might be. Verstappen might just be in a different league to anything that I've ever seen. He might be unbeatable for the next 15 years. Like, no joke. He might be unbeatable for the next 15 years. I hope I'm wrong. You're debating whether it's worth watching the sprint or not. It's a late one, mate. It starts at 11 p.m. Yeah, watch it. Join me. Yeah, it'd be a bit of fun, innit? I'll be on. Oh, Verstappen spun. What the... Hey, yo, Verstappen spun it. Oh, the greatest driver of all time is going to dominate for another 15 years. Bang, spins. That's how you do it. No, I think seriously, by the time Verstappen retires, he'd probably go down as the greatest of all time. I'm telling you that now. He'd retire with fucking 9 championships and about 150 wins or something stupid. Oh, wow. Whew. He's at the top of the hill. No, he just unsettles the car and the left-hander at the top of the hill. And it's a full 180, a full 360 pirouette for Max Verstappen at the top of the hill. If next season like this gets channel turned into a Modern Warfare 3 thing, nah, probably sim racing. Probably sim racing's plan B, innit? Yeah, if next season's like this season, we're a sim racing channel, bro. You know what I mean? I'll give it one more chance doing F1 watch-alongs. I'll give it one more chance. But if it's another shit season, I can't deal with it. You know what I mean? Gasly goes P7. You generally think being teammates the same car would be the same roughly. Exactly. You would, man. And most of them are, you know. You look at like Russell and Hamilton, pretty evenly matched. You know, a lot of the teammates are pretty evenly matched. Leclerc and Sainz are pretty evenly matched in the Ferrari, you know. But some of the gaps are stupid. Alonso Stroll is so one-sided, it's embarrassing. And the Verstappen Perez is so one-sided, it's embarrassing. And then what's another one? Albon and Sargent. That's too one-sided. Oh, and Ricciardo only P11. So Ricciardo's been knocked out. I think both Aston Martins have been knocked out as well then. Oh, Ricciardo will start the sprint from P11. Yeah, the Aston Martins are out. So knocked out in the second part of qualifying then is Ricciardo, Alonso, Ocon, Stroll and Zhou. So top 10. fighting for pole for the sprint race tonight is going to be Verstappen, Leclerc, Sainz, Norris, Perez, Piastri, Gasly, Russell, Hamilton, and Albon is through. Alexander Albon will fight for pole position for the sprint race tonight, of which I will be live at 10:30 for the start of the race. 11 p.m. late night stream tonight for the sprint race. Who is going to be on pole for it? It's looking Ferrari looking strong, you know, but if Verstappen keeps within track limits, he could have this hooked up. Touring cars is always interesting. I don't know if I'd do that. One thing do you know what I have considered doing next year? Getting into IndyCar and doing IndyCar. But the problem would be I wouldn't be able to do every race because so it'd be a bit pie. There's no point in doing it. You either do it or you don't. There's no point in me doing like 4 rounds of an IndyCar championship, is there? I don't know. I don't know what to do next season. I've got to do something different next season. Next season, I've either got to go all in. Next season, I've either got to go all in where I do like Wednesday preview, Thursday rundown, Friday night roundup, Saturday morning chat, you know what I mean? Monday night analysis, Tuesday midweek report. You know, I've either got to do that next season or admit defeat and go F1 watch-alongs, no one's really cares. Let's either do a different, I don't know, or sim racing. I don't know. I either go all in or sack it off. I don't know yet. The jury's out. Let's see what pre-season testing's like. Let's see what pre-season testing's saying at the beginning of next season. If it's looking like a tasty season, then we'll carry on in it. But if on day one of pre-season testing, Verstappen's 2 seconds quicker than everyone else, I might go, oh, do I want to do this for another year? For no money, for nothing. Maybe not. Formula Ford, innit? It'd be more exciting. You know what I mean? F2. I have thought about F2, you know. F2, you know, is not a bad shout, like, but the thing is, like, I don't want to sound like a dickhead, yeah, but how many views are you going to get on an F2 watch along? Do you know what I mean? I mean, not like I can get 1 million now, but you're not going to get a million people clicking on an F2 watch along, are you? You got to think what's gonna be interesting. So I either go all in next year and do like instead of like 2 streams every month, which it is now, where it's like honestly it's like 3 or 4 streams a month. I'd have to bump that up to like 20 streams a month and go for it, praying that it's a good season, or go, do you know what? This ain't the one. Let's do a bit of sim racing. No, but that won't get... it's dead, isn't it? We'll see. Make or break next year. Make or break. I might go all in, fuck it. Exactly. That's exactly it, Barry. Do you know what I mean? Like I sit here doing F2 watch along, but in reality, I don't know all the drivers in F2. Do you know what I mean? I couldn't name you every F2 driver. You know what I mean? Well, put it this way: I've seen every single Grand Prix for the last 18 years. And in that time, I've probably watched about a dozen F2 races. You know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? So I don't know about F2. Although it would be fun, like it'd be good racing and that. Like if you properly got into F2, like the races are probably lit, but it's just like no one's ever heard of them. It's the same with like you think of other series as well, like World Endurance Championship. That would be dead because you'd have to be doing 6 hour watch along. Can you imagine doing right, here we go, welcome to the stream, it's the 8 hours of Silverstone. Do you know what I mean? No one in the right mind would do that. You know what I mean? Watch along 24 hours of Le Mans. This is hour 17. Nah, man. This is limited. It's a limited audience, isn't it? I don't know. I've thought about IndyCar, but then I'd only be doing like 4 or 5 IndyCar races a season. Well, it's neither here nor there. You either do it or you don't. I wouldn't be able to do every IndyCar race. But I tell you what, IndyCar has at least been really competitive from what I've seen. No, anyway. I'm being pessimistic. You've got to pray that next season's going to be better here. It's got to be. We can't have back-to-back seasons like this. It would just be Armageddon. Why do Red Bull want to replace? Sure, they're going to be the same. Yeah. It's a difficult one, that. Because I have no idea where I rate Ricciardo now. I really don't know, because 5 years ago, Daniel Ricciardo was absolutely top tier. He used to dive bomb the very best and win Grand Prix in spectacular fashion. He was last of the late breakers. He used to go head to head with Verstappen, Ricciardo did. In like 2017-18. Daniel Ricciardo used to give Max a fight. But then his career's sort of gone off the rails. Because then he went to Renault, which is now Alpine. And it was just a midfield team as it is now. He got a couple of podiums, and then he went from there, because Renault must have promised that he was going to have a championship winning car. It didn't happen. So then he moved from there to McLaren, and that's when it went really south for Ricciardo. Then at McLaren, his 2 years at McLaren, or a year and a half, whatever it was just a downward spiral of just loss of confidence. And so now it's like, was Ricciardo just, did the McLaren just not suit his driving style? And really, he is the Daniel Ricciardo of 2017. It's just that McLaren didn't suit him, and he just lost his confidence, and he'll be back as he was? Or has he just not got what he had 5 years ago? Has he just not got it anymore? I honestly do not know the answer to that. And so Red Bull are trying to find out the answer to that by putting him in the AlphaTauri. They are asking the question: can you still produce the Daniel Ricciardo of 2017, or are you the Daniel Ricciardo of 2022 and you've fallen off big time? They're having a look, and I think the truth is probably somewhere in the middle, where he'd probably never be at that 2017, 2018 level that he had, but maybe McLaren made him look worse than he is. Maybe he's somewhere in the middle. But I don't know about sticking Daniel Ricciardo in that Red Bull. I feel like it would be a big gamble. I think Perez doesn't have to do a lot now to keep the seat for next year. You know, if as long as Perez isn't embarrassingly bad in these last 5, Perez will get the seat for next year. You know what I mean? He's nailed on. But if Perez has another season next year like he's had this year, and Ricciardo's pulling up trees at AlphaTauri and getting top 8s, top 6s, because I think that AlphaTauri, it's not even going to be called AlphaTauri, it's going to be Hugo Boss Racing or whatever they're going to call it. I think that car's going to be a lot better because the tying in a bit closer to Red Bull, so they might have virtually like a Red Bull B-spec car. So the Danny Ricciardo might be sat in a pretty quick car next season, and if he's getting top 8s, top 6s, and Perez has another very mediocre season, you never know for 2025. You never know, but for next year, I reckon there's a 95% chance that Perez is in the Red Bull next season. Anyway, here we go then. We're fighting for pole in Texas for the sprint race. Probably just to be uncomfortable with the car. Well, that's yeah, probably the case. For his sake, hopefully that is the case. Lando Norris has gone purple first sector. Here we go then. Oh, it's game on. Norris quicker than Verstappen in the first sector. This is to set the grid of the top 10 for the sprint race tonight. And Verstappen's quick in the middle sector. Purple. Come on, Norris. If Norris goes purple middle sector, it's big time. It's on. Oh, it's green. It's in Verstappen's hands, this, at the moment, I think, as he comes round the second to last corner, just within track limits, as he approaches the final corner then, a minute to go. And here comes the laps then. Verstappen crosses the line. And a 1 minute 34.5 is the benchmark. Can anybody beat that? Here comes Lando Norris then, up to the final corner. Come on, Lando. Come on, Lando. Accelerating out. Here we go. P2 by a 10th. Norris slower than Verstappen by a 10th. But here comes Piastri as Leclerc goes purple middle sector. Piastri goes P3. So at the moment, it's McLaren second and third. But we've got about 7 drivers to cross the line. Look at Charles Leclerc here. Purple middle sector. He's got pole position for the Grand Prix on Sunday. Can he get another pole position for the sprint race tonight? As Pierre Gasly goes P4 in the Alpine, here comes Charles Leclerc then, around the final corner. He's purple in the middle. Come on, Charles. Can you make it 2 pole positions in 1 weekend? Oh, it's P2. Oh, it's so close. Half a 10th. Verstappen looks like he's going to be on pole. As Alexander Albon goes P5. Wow. Albon goes P5, but there's still drivers to finish the laps. Here comes Carlos Sainz, and he beats Albon to 5th. So it's Verstappen, Leclerc, Norris, Piastri, Sainz, top 5 at the moment. Here comes Sergio Perez then. What can he do? P6 only. And it's the 2 Mercedes drivers. Here comes Lewis Hamilton round the final corner. Go on then, Lewis. P3. It's Verstappen, Leclerc, Hamilton, top 3 then. The McLarens have been knocked off. And there's only one more driver then. It's George Russell is going to be the last one across the line. Come on then, George. What can you do? Go on, George. Only P8 for George Russell. That's it then. It's Verstappen on pole for the sprint race tonight. But I'm half a 10th quicker than Charles Leclerc. So it has ended up Verstappen, Leclerc, Hamilton, Norris, Piastri, Sainz, Perez, Russell, Albon and Gasly rounds out the top 10. Max Verstappen on pole for the sprint, but only P6 for the Grand Prix on Sunday. Leclerc pipped at the post. So the top 3 in qualifying yesterday have become 2nd, 3rd and 4th in qualifying today as Verstappen beats the lot of them. But it was close. The top 4 are separated by 1/10 of a second. Is it 2-2, is it? Scenes. Right, I'll be back later on tonight. I'll be live. I think I'm scheduled about 10:30 for the sprint race starting at 11 p.m. tonight. Please do join me for that. Please do drop a like on your way out as well, guys. I'll be back later on tonight. We have got the grid then for the sprint race tonight. It's Verstappen, Leclerc, Hamilton, Norris, Piastri, Sainz, Perez, Russell, Albon, and Gasly rounds out the top 10. It's then Ricciardo, Alonso, Ocon, Stroll, Zhou, Hulkenberg, Magnussen, Bottas, Tsunoda, and homeboy Logan Sargent rounds off the grid in P20. 11 p.m. for the start of the sprint race tonight. 8 p.m. for the start of the Grand Prix tomorrow. I will catch you all later. See you in a bit, guys. Thank you all for watching, and see you for a late night sprint race. See you in a bit.